Hey, I'm Melanie from Female Fitness Systems, and today I'm walking you through my favorite supplements for joint health after 40. So to set some context before we get into it, you should know that I've just come through a very stressful time in my life. Late last year I had a major surgery, and then I separated from my long-term partner and we had to sell a house and I had to move houses, and it's just been hugely stressful. And unfortunately, I'm experiencing some lingering inflammation and issues from all of that stress. So like literally the day after I got into this rental, I woke up and I felt like I had been hit by a bus. My joints were really sore, especially in my fingers and my toes. And so I knew I needed some extra help, and I turned to some of my favorite supplements for helping reduce inflammation. And those are the ones we're going to talk about today. These are very common supplements. I think there are some other ones out there that you might want to consider as you get older to help prevent arthritis and keep your joints healthy, and I'll quickly mention those at the end, but today I'm just going to show you what I've been using. These are great supplements because they have multiple benefits, which is why I think they're so awesome for you when you are in your 40s. Remember, it's important to do your own research and make sure whatever you're taking is safe for you, especially if you're on other medications. I'm going to show you the exact brands and the dosages that I use, but I'm simply just telling you what works for me. And I'm not affiliated with any of these brands. I'm not selling you anything. So the first supplement I wanted to talk about is turmeric, or you might also know it as curcumin. This is one of my favorite supplements when it comes to inflammation in the body. It's well known for its anti-inflammatory properties. Personally, I've used curcumin in the past for acute pain, so I've used it to knock out things like earaches, toothaches. I've used it for period pains. Recently, I was actually sick. I think I might have had mild COVID, and I had some really crazy body ache, and I found that taking the curcumin helped knock out the body ache for a couple of hours. So I just love this supplement. I think it's great because it's a really nice substitute to taking regular anti-inflammatories. It might not be quite as powerful, but for me, I've found that it works really well for low-level pain. The other thing that I like about it is when I'm choosing supplements, because I have a limited budget and I don't want to be taking a ton of supplements, I like choosing ones that have multiple benefits. And curcumin has so many benefits, including being really good for brain health and depression and anxiety. So it's one of the ones that I love having in my regime. It is on the slightly expensive side, so it's not something that I take all of the time. If I had an unlimited budget, I probably would now that I'm in my 40s, but I'm going to be using it over the next couple of months just until the rest of that lingering joint pain and inflammation settles completely. In terms of dosages, I take 1,000 milligrams. That's what I've seen in the research, although I've seen that you can take significantly more of it. When you take curcumin, you need to take a form of it that your body absorbs better, so you can't just go and grab any turmeric supplement off the shelf. And for me personally, I've just found that this specific Now Foods formulation works the best for me. I have tried other ones, and I just haven't experienced the same pain reduction. So this would be my recommendation if you're looking for a really good supplement. The next supplement I wanted to talk about is ginger. Ginger is very similar to curcumin in that it works on those inflammatory pathways to reduce pain and inflammation. In my experience, ginger is very similar to curcumin in what it can do for pain. Over the years, I've used it to reduce period pain. Once I started being a nutritionist and I understood how to eat, I didn't have extreme period pain, but sometimes I would just get those low-level cramps and I wanted something to knock them out. And I would take ginger instead of taking ibuprofen, and that was enough just to get rid of those low-level cramps. So it's one that I actually had in the kitchen left over from when I still had periods. And so when I started having joint pain when I moved into this rental, I actually started on the ginger before anything else because I had some in the kitchen. I didn't have to order it. If I was to choose one over the other, if I was to choose between curcumin and ginger, I would probably choose curcumin just because I think it has been a little bit more potent for me in terms of its ability to reduce pain. But I tend to always have ginger in the house, and so it's one of those ones that I use quite often. Now, I've tried quite a few brands, and for me personally, this Now Foods ginger root extract is the only one that has ever really made a difference for me. I take 4 of these, which means that I get a gram of ginger every time I take it. The other thing I want to mention that's quite special about ginger, of course, is that if you are watching this video because you have arthritis and you're on any other medications that cause you some stomach distress, ginger might be a nice one to have in your regime because it can help reduce some of that joint pain that you're having, but it can also help with any nausea that you're having from taking medication. So that's another nice little benefit of having ginger in the house. And the other thing is that it is slightly less expensive than the curcumin. The next supplement I wanted to talk about is omega-3s, so fish oil. You probably know that inflammation is caused by an imbalance of omega-6 to omega-3s in our diet. I mean, this information is out there everywhere. We have way too many omega-6 fatty acids in our diet, and we need way more omega-3s to balance it out. And that's going to help with reducing your inflammation and your joint pain. I had actually run out of fish oil when I was going through the house sale and moving into here. So what I did when I started experiencing joint pain after settling in is I ordered some fish oil and I got back on that. And I'm going to stay on that because it's just one of those supplements that you should probably have all of the time. It's really hard to get enough omega-3s through your diet. Like, it's pretty much impossible unless you're eating fatty fish all of the time. Now, there are a lot of brands of fish oil out there, so it can be really hard to know which one to choose. I love this Extend Life brand. I did used to sell this brand in my training studio, but I don't anymore, but I still use it because here in New Zealand, it's a very affordable supplement and it's a very clean brand. I've read their documentation. I think it's very reputable and it's just a great overall supplement. So that is the one that I use here, and I take 2 capsules a day. So I think that equates to about a gram of fish oil. The good news is that if you are watching this from overseas, I believe Extend Life sells in North America as well, so it should be pretty easy if you want to look that supplement up. Nordic Naturals is another brand that is quite good and very popular if you are in North America. So those are probably the 2 brands that I would look at if I was going to get started on fish oil. The other thing I wanted to mention about fish oil is that if you are also taking curcumin, is that there is some research that suggests that they can work synergistically together to reduce inflammation. So what that means is basically take them together if you're taking them. The other thing about curcumin is that it is absorbed better if it's taken with some fat, so that's also why it's good to take it with your fish oil. So those are the supplements that I'm taking now just to help get rid of this sort of low-level lingering inflammation that I'm experiencing. The reason I chose all of these is because they're convenient and they have multiple benefits for me as a woman in my 40s. However, there are a couple other supplements that are in my mind as I get older for helping to prevent arthritis and for helping rebuild cartilage and those sorts of things, but I need to look into them more. However, if you're watching this video and you're experiencing more serious joint issues than I am, then you might want to consider looking at glucosamine and chondroitin. Those are a couple that very often come up when it comes to joint pain, so it will be easy to find information on them. So I wanted to give them a mention in this video because depending on your situation, you might be looking for something a little bit more powerful. So I hope you found this video useful. Make sure you leave me questions in the comments. I will get back to you there. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.